Hey, what is going on, YouTube? Aaron here. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day here. And guys, we have our Somme gameplay here. This isn't quite a full review. I've been waiting to get sort of that game that I want to, that truly highlights and showcases the ship. This is a good one. A lot of damage, a lot of torpedoes on target. However, questionable teammates, as you guys can see, are AFK Shima. Just giving him a little wake-up alert there. And yeah, pay attention to how fast our destroyers go down. And I'm going to be honest, this game does get a little bit closer than it may perceive, at least halfway through. But we've got a lot of damage here, and I just have yet to do a video on the Somme, and this is really the only one that I want to put up right now. As you guys could tell, if you didn't watch the beginning of the stream last night, we did a little bit of clip review. And part of that is I'm just getting burnt out. The game's getting stale, and I'm getting too frustrated, easily. And of course, games like this are part of the reason why. You guys will see here in just a second. But to the Somme, the British Shima at tier 8 here. Not quite a full Shima. You do get 10 torpedoes, and of course the torpedo reload booster, which we just utilized there. And if you play it, or you use that booster correctly, you can get yourself a good zone completely flooded here as we send single fire down this gap. And I probably should have put them a bit more to the right there. But you couple that with the short duration smokes and the sonar, the short range sonar that this thing gets, and you're basically just sort of a super Jutland, essentially, or super lightning if you want to put it that way. You're not going to be overpowering any gunboats at the tier, but you can certainly give them a run for your money. Of course, you have the 113mm guns, and I'm thinking about switching my particular build from more of a torpedo focus to more of a gun focus, because you have the reload booster and you're not getting much else out of those torpedoes without that booster. So just make sure you're timing it up correctly, and basically every time that the torpedoes reload, your booster is to follow. So you can just pop that out and get 20 torpedoes in the water, which is definitely something to watch out for, as these battleships here will soon find out. Now here is a good example of the guns on this thing. The Shima was spotting, and I'm not exactly sure of this guy's strategy, but I wanted to make sure that we're trying to secure the cap as we lose our Smallland on the other flank, as he was almost crossed the midline within the first 2 minutes of the game there. Not sure why he did that, but unfortunately the Kaba did decide to work his way into the cap, so we're going to get off as many salvos as we can. And that's what you honestly want to do. You are trying to harass and get as many torpedoes on target as possible. So this Kaba is working his way in, and I can't win this gunfight directly, and that's sort of what I was mentioning. I wanted this Shima to spot. He could obviously outspot the Kaba, and I could get a few salvos on him. I was also trying to get the cap, and within a quick 3 minutes here, we're already down 2 destroyers. So, and this is just part of the reason that I'm just so frustrated. I know people make mistakes. I've taken a torp. I made a mistake. We had a Hindi game last night where, it just didn't work out. But how often does this happen? And how many times do you have to, make videos explaining, hey, don't die, And it's not just one; it's both, right? Both of our destroyers on this flank are now gone, so we're the only available spotting. Now, the good news is a good majority of our team is over here. We already have 3 spots, and a decent bit of a position here with our battleships, in somewhat of a, good position to try and counter this. But you just know, if you've played this game enough, you know that this game is the outcome has almost already been assured. But we're still going to try. We've got a few torpedoes on target here. I probably should have just put the zone torps instead of the single fire, and that almost always the zone is going to work better than the single fire. We did manage to connect 3 on the Rune though, and our other ship there did get the kill, so it doesn't really matter there. We've got 4 on target, and we've got a few others headed towards the Diwa and the Aki. Unfortunately, that Aki is going to accelerate forward just a little bit and end up missing those. It's a catch-22. Do you send out the single fire, and potentially miss all? Do you send out the zone and hit a few? It's really whatever, you feel this situation best calls for. But we have, on top of using our torpedoes, gotten a few hits on those battleships there, and we've gotten 2 fires. But here where it gets a little dicey. This Kaba is out here, and he is going to easily outplay us as our team goes down. We've lost 4 ships in less than 5 minutes, and I know that's just kind of a running joke in this community, and we've basically come to the point to just accept it, right? But I just, it doesn't, you know, I understand maybe like if you've got like a brawling battleship or something, or if you catch a torp, but you shouldn't. Logic would dictate that after you die, you know, 5 times doing the same thing in the Shima, that you would adjust your strategy. But the average player has a 49.5% win rate, and this is just what we have to deal with. So again, we're just going to go ahead and, you know, utilize our smoke screens as we lose a 5th ship in, you know, 5 minutes here. As our team does, they do trade a few, but the trades are just definitely not working in our favor. So what we're going to do is just try to maintain range, is get you know, as many torpedoes and fires as we can on target. Again, I'm trying to guess what a logical player would do in this situation. The Aki appears to be stopping and starting, so I'm trying to just flood that zone as well as even get torpedoes on target for this Kaba. Now, if we can get this Kaba to shoot with our smoke back, well, we're going to, you know, sort of keep him spotted there. Unfortunately, our battleship did back up, so I'm trying to draw this Kaba in while simultaneously, you know, throwing torpedoes and trying to just do as much damage as I can. At this point, the game is almost over, but we have managed to connect a permanent fire, I believe, on the Diwa and the Aki there. So we're going to work our way towards a Witherer and get ourselves a decent bit of damage, highlighting, you know, how dangerous this ship can be in the right circumstances. Now, is this ship going to be as influential as the Vampire, as the, you know, Le Kleber when it first came out, as the Daring when it first came out? I don't think so. However, as you guys can see, a good bit of zoning torps. We don't get the best damage there. What, 4,700? Those British torps, while they are consistent in my opinion, they do lack the true damage to be just pure torpedo boats. Which is probably why I'm going to switch up my build. But the guns are still pretty strong. 3.5 to 4 second reload with a basically full gun build is still really good. But the torpedo belts of legendary tier battleships aren't going to allow you to really do the damage that you want to do. Now against tier 8 and especially tier 7, I think this thing's going to be really good. So something to certainly keep in mind if you're interested in this campaign. But I just wanted to get this video out to you guys. We're going to go ahead and finish up this one here. And yeah, we do manage to outplay this Kaba, and we do have a chance potentially at the end of this one to win this game, which is just truly shocking given all the circumstances. But, you know, this game was basically over from the onset. The team didn't want to win this one, and that's fine. That's how the cookie crumbles, as the proverbial saying goes. But we have a health advantage here on this Kaba, and we're utilizing AP. Something that you guys forget to do sometimes is when a destroyer shows broadside with your 113mm guns, you absolutely want to use the AP, as, again, we lose a turret. I feel like people just get pretty outrageous RNG on me, just meaning as we sort of give him the old teabag of torpedoes here. I did want to avoid his, which we do. So a cool little clip, I guess, to end this one. Definitely didn't need to use the torpedoes there, but it was kind of just like a little, you know, Legends teabag, if you will. So a good example of utilizing the smoke and sonar combo, which the British are just notorious for in those situations. You never want to advance as much as that guy did on a British ship with that smoke and sonar combo, because when you're within that 3 kilometers, they are just going to eat you, 3.5. They're just going to eat you alive. And yes, he was coming towards me. We would have been spotted at like 2.5 with our smoke fire penalty or whatever it is. But those essentially 10 seconds, 2 to 3 salvos that they get on you will basically be the difference in that fight. On top of that, we had a health advantage, and we utilized AP. So again, a good display of this ship, but as you guys can see here, the game is pretty much over at this point. So, but we're going to go ahead and throw off a few torpedoes, and like, I don't know, you guys let me know. I'm going to let this one just kind of stay to the audio, and you guys let me know, did we lose this one, or did Aaron just run out of time? But that's all I've got for you guys in this one. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm out. Peace.
is about to win.